Hello, welcome. Sorry, I'm running a little bit behind today, but I am excited to be with you. If you are not familiar with me, I am Candace Anderson, coming to you live from Hiram, Utah, and I'm excited to share this project with you. I have seen this lots of times before, and I wrote down the name of the video I looked up. Carrie Titus, I believe was her name, was the one I finally found that she had easy instructions so I could figure out how to do this. I've received them, I've seen them, I've never tried to make one by myself, and I found they are actually relatively easy. So, for those of you who are not haven't joined me before, I go live every Monday. And the first Monday of the month, I always like to do a Make It With Me project, which means hopefully you'll be able to follow along and make the project. A lot of the other ones, you can follow along as well, but this particular one, I'm hoping you can make your own project and you don't have to have exactly what I have. I am using one of the Valentine's sweets, but I do have a sample that's a little bit different too. Um, for you. And today is February 2nd, so it's Groundhog's Day, which is why I thought of this project. It is called the Never Ending Card. At least that's what I believe it's called. That's what I looked up. So we are going to switch cameras here and get started. If you had a minute or you're in a area where you can grab something to do this, what you're going to need is two pieces of cardstock. Now you can do them the same colors. You can do them different, completely up to you. I'm going to slide this back out of the way for just a minute. Oh, don't lose all my pieces though. Okay, and we're going to pull this one in here. So this particular one, I am going to make a 6x6 one, but I did kind of play around with a smaller measurement. I haven't finished the card, but it does work. It's just a little bit smaller. Part of the reason I wanted to play with that is because when you cut a regular 8.5 by 11 into 6x6. Now, if you have a 12 by 12, you could definitely cut a 12 by 12. But I like the thicker cardstock, and our 12 by 12, unless you're using white, it's not really in the thicker cardstock. So one thing I really like about this particular cutter for something like this, when you slide it in, if you slide it all the way to the edge here, that is your 6 inches. So it means you're going to get a really nice cut when you cut it. And we're just going to set this one aside and set this one aside. So you could use these extra pieces to cut up your pieces that are going to go on it. Or if you want to, you can make a smaller one because this is going to leave 5 inches over here. And I'll show you, you can cut it to make the 5 inch one as well. So we're just going to move these to the side for the moment here. Now, one thing I've shown you kind of this before, but our cardstock, see how it bends really easy this way? It's harder to tell, but it does not bend as easy this way. So if we score it the same way that we're bending it, it does work a little bit better. So we are going to put it in at 1.5 inches. Make sure I'm using my scoring blade. And then I'm going to move over to 4.5 inches, or 1.5 on each side. So you can flip it if you want. Doesn't really matter. Again, we're going to make sure we're bending that the right way. And we're going to score it at 1.5 and 4.5. While I have this out, we're going to grab these two right here and show you. And I will share this later when I can finish it. But if we, so this is already 5 inches because we cut it to 6. So we're just going to cut this one down to 5. And we're going to cut this one down to 5. And since we are a 1/2 inch smaller, we're going to score this one a little smaller. So again, I want to see which way it bends easier. It's going to go this way. So instead of 1.5, we're going to score it at 1.25, and then 3 3/4, which should leave 1.25 on this side, if I'm thinking my measurements correctly. Same thing on this one. We're going to score it at 1.25 and 3 3/4. All right. We'll set that one aside. So that's the small one. This is the big one. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold on our score lines. And we're going to just put those together. You'll want to use a bone folder. I forgot that in the script description. But it just makes it really nice to get that nice and folded. And those should go like right together. I do kind of make sure that I'm pushing them together before I burnish that, so that I can make sure that it's nice and flat on that. Again, we're going to fold these in here like so. And so super simple. We have these two pieces here. So we've cut it to 6 by 6, scored it at 1.5 and 4.5, so 1.5 on each side, and fold it over. We have two pieces. Again, they can be the same color or different. Now, when you do this part, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to where you're cutting it. I've just found it's a little bit easier to put the cut parts back together. So I'm just turning it over, and I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Maybe. You don't have to do it upside down, but I just prefer not to have the part where it was cut up, facing up, so I don't catch it. So we're going to do these two again. So this one here, so we cut those in half, so they were cut at 3 inches. Since this one's 5, we're going to cut it in half at 2.5 inches. I have not played with trying to do it at 5.5, which is just cutting your paper right in half. It can be done. It just means that you're going to get the 1/8 measurements when you start doing them. So this one we're going to put in at 2.5. Set those right there. And this one here, we are going to do at 2.5 as well. All right, so now we're done with this, so we can move it out of the way. And I'm going to put these together before I pull this out. So I'm going to start with our big one here. So we're going to flip this. We're still going to keep it so it's going down here. And then we're going to flip this one. So I'm going to spread this one out, and I am going to flip this one so it's going this way. And I'm going to grab my tear and tape. So honestly, it doesn't really matter which way you start this. However, I want to make sure. Let's see, I went this way. Trying to think, hang on, if it's flipped this way. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, hopefully it works the way I want it to. If not, that's okay. I realized the other one, it was the same color, so it didn't really matter which way I went with it, which one was top and which one was bottom. It may not matter. We shall find out, I guess. You'll learn with me. So we're going to put 2 strips of tear and tape on the top on each of these little 1.5 inch sides. So my second time I tried to make this, I messed up and I put them in the middle here. We don't want them in the middle. We want them on the top and the bottom. And that is all the adhesive that you're going to use to actually put the card together. Now, one thing I like to do is I'm just going to take my bone folder and just press that down so it's nice and pressed down here. And then you can take your pick or piercing tool, whatever. It makes it really easy to lift those off. Move them out of the way, maybe. And you can do these one at a time or all at the same time. Kind of up to you. First time, I would maybe recommend doing them one at a time, just so that you don't accidentally stick the one over the other. And we're just going to line these corners up so that this is lined up, going over those two corners. We're going to do the same thing on this one. Going to line up those two corners. And then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to do this one. Line up those two corners. And these should line right up together here. We're doing it right. Ooh, we did not put that one on very straight. I think I didn't press it down too tight. And again, we want to make sure that, hopefully I can get it off here because I have it a little off on the corner. So we want these two ends to be lined up here. So if anything, it's better to hang off the edge a little bit here. So then we're going to fold like this. We're going to make sure that this is a nice good fold again. And then this one is going to flip again. And then we'll go like this. So I'm going to show you the finished one, and then I'll show you kind of how to put the things on. So this is my finished card right here. So we have love, today, and always. And here's the kind of fun thing with this card. It doesn't really matter which way it starts or ends. So now we flip this. It says Happy Valentine's Day. Then we flip it again, and we've just got a little bit more decoration, and flip it again, sending you hugs and kisses, and flip it again and again. And this is why it's called a never ending card. It's crafter's fidget spinner is what you can call that, because you can just keep flipping it and flipping it and flipping it. So once again, I will show you how to put it together. So we're going to flip those, pull them apart. We're going to flip these and put them this way. And we will add our sticky here. So this is the smaller version. And I don't have this one decorated. So uh, I will try and get one decorated and share it with you. But I was like, I have all this paper left. I wonder if I can change the size. So if you were to do the 5x5s, you could do two 5x5s out of one piece of paper, or you could keep it the same color and do 5x5 out of one. Or if you wanted to play with the measurements, to do a 5.5 by 5.5, you're just going to end up with 1/8 inch measurements, which is not a big deal. The basic concept is you are doing it in half. So you'll cut it, you'll score it so the middle part, so this is half of this, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you could make it in any kind of size that you really wanted to. Just kind of depends on what you want to play with. One more here. And this is the main part I wanted to show you, but I did want to show you one other part. So we're going to put this one here, and we're going to lay this one. So I'm going to get it lined up so it's straight here and hopefully straight on there. And then I'm going to flip it over. I have found this is a little bit easier. Make sure that it's folded the right way. And I'm going to line that one up there because this inside line is actually more important than that outside one. Because if they're overhanging, they're not going to flip for you very well. So then, did I just put it in upside down? I did, didn't I? Yep, I sure did. I wasn't paying attention to that when I put it on there. So good thing I didn't press it down too tight. That's what happens if you put the sticky on the wrong end. Thankfully, it will get covered up when I go to do it, but we are going to hopefully pull that off. There we go. So the sticky needs to be on the outside, not the inside. I was not paying attention. There we go. So we're going to put that there. Now it will fold for me. And then we can fold again. Makes the little cross. And like I said, the important part is making sure that that lines up so that it will fold correctly. And that's your smaller one. So now I'm going to show you a couple tricks when you go to decorate this that I kind of learned when I was doing this. So if we were to start out here, which is going to be this one right here, so it should be this direction if I've done this correctly. Okay, hang on. I gotta flip it so I'm going, this was my front. Maybe not. Ha ha ha. I gotta figure out which direction I started this. That shows that one, but that's upside down. There we go. There's my front. Maybe not. I know it goes the right direction when I do it normally. I have it backwards. That's right. Sorry. I'm having a hard day today. Okay. There we go. Now it's going the right way. So if you flip it this way, it's going to be backwards when you start flipping it. So there is a right direction and a wrong direction to flip it. So if we were to start this one here, it should flip to this one. And that's where I was saying it does matter on your it does matter if you're doing two different colors on what you're going to end up flipping. So you'll see that this is lining up a little bit different. Doesn't matter as much, but you'll see here it's going to line up a little bit differently than this one. But that's okay. It still works okay. So the one thing I wanted to point out though is when we start adding some of these, and I don't know if I'm going to stamp. I want you to kind of see. If I were to put these ones here, so it looks like this one, maybe it's a good thing I screwed up because it will show you what I mean and what I learned. So if I were to put these ones here, when I flip this, okay, so we're going to stick these ones here, showing what that one should look like. When I flip this, then I get this one. So this one here, I'm backwards from what it was. So I have to pay attention to what is here and how these fold. So on this one, it's going to be the same as, I think it's the same as, yep, this. So it might change what you're going to put. So this one I did have this. So it's going to end up here with these. So I might change the direction of this one so it works out the way I want. So this one, it's just going to be opposite colors of this one. So if I were to go here, just so you can see, and this one would go here and here, and then I can do this one here and here. But that is going to change my starting one. So when you go to lay them out, these ones would go here. Sorry, I can't pick this up. And I will finish putting this one together and share pictures of both so you can see, or a video of both so you can see what I mean about the different directions. So if this one were to go here like so, and I'm changing this one up, instead of doing this here, I'm doing the ones that were on the other. But when we flip this is the kind of cool part. When I flip this one, these two stay here. So when I flip this one, this would have been right here still, which is why I used this little piece that went in here. And I'm obviously going to end up with a different color, so we'll just flip those over and go this way with it. So you would get that, and then you can put either those, or you could put these ones here depending on what that was on the other. So that's the one thing that I did discover, is mostly when I flip to this page, it's not going to be a full page. It's going to be filling in from this page. Hopefully that kind of makes sense to you there. Um, and I really kind of didn't discover that until I started putting things on my my card. So then when I flip to this one, now we're going to have the red side. So I'm probably going to do this one a little bit different. So this one, if I wanted to, I can do this one on the red with the white, and then this one here, instead of doing these stamped, I would do this one here. Or I could flip and do these with this, just depending on what I want to do with it. So these pieces here, I just cut them down to 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. If you want less of this showing, you can do 1 7/8 by 2 7/8. Just kind of depends on what you want to do for your layout. I just went the 1/4 inch smaller. I have these two here so that I could cut out some hearts. Now, the other thing you'll notice that I do not have on this card, which is a little bit unusual for me, is embellishments. And that's because of everything. I didn't pop it up with any dimensionals. I glued right onto it. And I tried to keep it fairly flat because I don't want it catching on things as I'm folding it. And yeah, it really is just kind of like you just want to keep flipping it and flipping it. And it makes it really fun to have all kinds of different messages. I love this for Valentine's because you can just have all kinds of little love messages. It'd be a very fun birthday card. I'm going to show you one other one that I made. So this one is Valentine's as well. And I decided to do the little darling dinos. Color-wise, this is the Global Design Color Challenge. Which is a little bit different. It is petal pink, strawberry slush, and not Lost Lagoon. What is it? Pretty peacock, I think, was the 3 colors. I'll have to double check. So again, we flip it, and this one was kind of fun. I did the hearts like going up. I thought for birthday it'd be really cute. You could put the balloons here coming down, and then flip it again, and it says roar means I adore you in dinosaur. I love this because you can switch out and put whatever you want, and I've put in lots of sayings in there. And another little dinosaur, you make me happy today and always. And I love this because you keep this and it says sweetheart, and then we go back to our hugs and kisses. You are loved. And again, just fun. The DSP I used on this one is from the what is it? the Nature Walk, uh, just because it had that color scheme in it that I was kind of going for. If you look really close, this one does have the embossing on it. I did the embossing on this one as well, but because of the different color, it pops a little bit more. And so, this one, maybe I should have done it in like the um, pretty peacock, but again, super cute, fun card. I'm going to try making that mini one and see how it turns out. And yeah, I encourage you to try it, share one yourself, and see. I'd love to see what you come up with. Just a couple other reminders, really quick. If you haven't had a chance to get in on bonus days, today is the last day that you can order and get the $5 coupon for every 50 that you spend. Um, CandiceAnderson.stampin' Up.net. You'll see it in the corner there. I don't know which way it goes. Um, but yeah, please feel free to check that out. You can also get the product of the month. We should have a new one coming out this month. I think they bring it out on it's either the Tuesday or Wednesday of the month. First Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember which one it is. But yeah, new product of the month, but the other two are coming out. My order, UPS decided to send it to Texas, and so it hasn't shown up yet, and that's why I don't have it to share. And hopefully, I will have it in the next couple days, and I can share that with you. But I do have a new episode of Scrapped. It has taken me a little bit longer than I planned, but hopefully I'll have that up in the next day or two for you. And my friends will be starting the February one. Mine is January, so I'm always at the end of the month, so sometimes it ends up in February, but I will have that up soon for you. And thanks again for joining me. I will see you again next Monday, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.